Straight ahead on 12 News, remembering a Robbinsdale business owner known as Jeannie.
There'll be a big hole here and tough shoes to fill.
Why Jeannie meant so much to her employees and customers. Plus, laying out the options for a possible pedestrian bridge for light rail in Brooklyn Park. But first, a Brooklyn Center elementary school on heightened alert after an undisclosed threat. 12 News starts right now. Hello, and thanks for joining us. Things should be back to normal after a day of heightened security at Earle Brown Elementary in Brooklyn Center.
The school operated under what school officials call a code yellow today.
I got a call from the Brooklyn Center police yesterday about 5 o'clock that there was a threat to Earle Brown Elementary. It wasn't a call to the school, it was a call to the police called me and let me know about it.
The school officials would not say what that threat was. Brooklyn Center police say the information came to them from another police agency. The extra security included a police officer on campus, exterior doors were locked, and students stayed inside with no outdoor recess. Superintendent Mark Bonine says the moves were taken out of an abundance of precaution.
Every day you have to act like there's a threat. I mean, that is the society we live in. So that's why we have locked front doors. That's why we have procedures in place. That's why we practice. That's why we're always on guard, because safety and security is the our number one priority for our district.
School officials say parents who felt uncomfortable could keep their children at home, and some did that. Again, the school says the code yellow is lifted and it will be business as usual on Wednesday.
Crossing the street to get to the other side isn't always such an easy task, especially when you factor in 6 lanes of traffic, freight trains, and a light rail train passing through. Transit planners are trying to figure out the best way to cross County Road 81 to get to the proposed 63rd Avenue light rail stop in Brooklyn Park. There are several options ranging from a 1,600-foot-long pedestrian bridge to a 400-foot-long bridge with elevators. Judging by an open house Monday night, there's no clear-cut consensus among Brooklyn Park residents.
I feel that people will be more apt to cross that way when it's further back and it's a straight shot versus all the other options.
As a straight bridge, you'd have to go all the way back and then go over. This here, you'd have to go to the street and then go over and then go up the elevator and then go over, which would be a shorter way to get there.
If a pedestrian bridge does get built, it will be a tall one. The bridge must be at least 24 feet high, and it would add $10 to $16 million in costs to the project. No pedestrian bridge with street crossing improvements is also an option. A recommendation is expected on June 2nd.
Well, there's some good news for Brooklyn Park's budget. Preliminary figures show the city's 2015 budget resulted in a $1.6 million surplus, much higher than anticipated. One reason for the surplus, robust construction activity, which brought in more license and permit revenues. As to where the surplus money will go, well, that is still to be determined, although some of it will likely go toward reserves.
It is also a busy construction time in Maple Grove. The city's planning commission received 3 new housing proposals. One named Cambridge Park calls for 94 townhomes at County Road 30 and Lawndale Lane. The townhomes would be 3 stories in height to help preserve trees. Another project is a 4-story apartment building project that's in high demand. The 100-unit Bottineau Ridge Apartments would be the second and final phase of construction. These units target families at lower than medium incomes, and another housing proposal would build 70 urban-style townhomes north of Central Park. This is one of the last undeveloped pieces of land in the gravel mining area. The Maple Grove Planning Commission is recommending approval on all 3 projects. In the Anoka-Hennepin School District, school lunch prices are going up. The school board approved a 15-cent increase for the coming school year. School officials say the increase is necessary to keep up with the increasing cost of food and federal pricing requirements. The price of a high school lunch would climb to $2.50 starting in September.
A local lawmaker is reacting to a rash of lawsuits filed against small business owners accusing them of failing to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. Maple Grove Republican Dennis Smith says the goal of the lawsuit seems to be money-driven and not the removal of barriers to help the disabled. Smith's proposal would keep lawyers from filing a suit if businesses come up with a remediation plan within 60 days of receiving a notice.
The purpose of this bill is to have the actual physical issue removed or fixed within a reasonable amount of time. It says these words right here, contains a remedial plan within a reasonable timetable. If it's not reasonable, then the lawsuit can commence.
Opponents complain that making a plan is not the same as actually removing a barrier. The bill passed the House and another will be taken up in the Senate. Robbinsdale residents are mourning the loss of Jean O'Hearn, better known as Jeannie.
O'Hearn passed away on Monday. She was 81 years old. O'Hearn ran Jeannie's Magic Cleaners for more than 30 years. Today, the business shut its doors for the last time. And as Eric Nelson found out, Jeannie left quite an impact.
It's a huge loss. There's not too many people like Jeannie left in the world that are community-based as she was.
She was a wonderful lady to work for. She was kind and caring, and she listened to your needs. And
This was a book that someone gave her. She was the Grand Marshal at Whiz Bang Days. Oh, she was just so honored.
Jeannie O'Hearn had a knack for dealing with people
customer service was very important to her.
and for making magic in the cleaning business.
This was her life. This is what made her tick. This is who she was.
Jeannie never married and had no kids. Her passion was her job. For Jeannie, retirement was never an option.
We talked about it. We said, how about Florida, Arizona? How about a cruise? She loved Ireland. Let's go on a cruise. No, my people need me. I have to be here.
Jeannie had a reputation for being thorough and was focused on doing quality work for everyone.
Well, she would hand finish all the clothes here. Customers, they love that. They like the personal touch that she gave to every single order.
Tributes have poured in for Jeannie.
Jeannie's been an icon in Robbinsdale I've been in Robbinsdale for 42 years, and I think we've been coming here a long time.
In person and on Facebook. She was so good that even the competition referred customers to Jeannie's Magic Cleaners.
We got a number of referrals from Pilgrim for a specialty item they couldn't handle.
People all over the area would call Jeannie for help on what to do for cleaning issues. It was amazing.
Senator Amy Klobuchar often supported her business.
As long as you treated the customers right and made an effort to remember their names, treated them like family, that was the most important thing.
The biggest heart that of anyone I've ever known. Just a good person.
Nothing was going to keep her away from this place.
In Robbinsdale,
she wanted to be here up until the very end.
I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
A celebration of Jeannie's life will take place on Thursday night at Village Cleaners on Excelsior Boulevard in St. Louis Park. Not a whole lot of people like Jeannie around, right?
No, she's well remembered.
Yes. Coming up, what a Golden Valley Clinic is doing to help people lose weight.
Then later in sports, see how Champlin Park's baseball team is piling up the wins this spring.
But first, more rain on Wednesday. Here is a unique way to raise awareness about Lyme disease, a juried art show. The Maple Grove Art Center is hosting an exhibit titled Ticked Off Art. All the artists either have had Lyme disease or know someone who has. The exhibit runs through May 19th. Health experts say the obesity rates in Minnesota have climbed over the last 5 years.
Now, obesity can lead to chronic diseases such as high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and diabetes. But in today's Health Check, Delane Cleveland looks at what a Golden Valley Clinic is doing to help people lose weight.
This month, what I'd really like you to bring is...
A trip to the clinic is a normal occurrence for anyone wanting to learn more about their overall health. But this isn't one of those typical visits.
I want to get fit, so not necessarily lose a lot of weight, but I want to tone up and get fit and just make it more of a lifestyle.
Rather than meeting with a personal trainer, 30-year-old Holly Constant of Minneapolis visits the HCMC clinic in Golden Valley once a month.
When we look at the BMI chart...
For a program created by physician assistant Natalie Eichman called The Great Slim Down.
I'm seeking out patients
health concerns, and then we set goals each month. So I set a healthy eating goal with the patient. I help them decide what's the best exercise, how much liquids to take in.
Lunch.
In other words, it's a weight loss program that happens within the clinic's walls. With the help of a dietitian and psychologist, Natalie provides counseling, support, and medical advice over the course of 12 months.
Patients have found that they're successful because I am holding them accountable. Bone health is really important.
Holly's been with the program for 2 months, and for her, the accountability factor has been a valuable component.
It's useful in that sense to come to an appointment and have somebody excited about what I've done, what I have accomplished.
We make goals each month.
Natalie's long-term goal is to teach patients new behaviors and new habits that they can sustain over the long run to help them prevent chronic diseases.
The purpose of the Great Slim Down weight loss program is I'm trying to prevent those chronic health conditions like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart attack, stroke, and diabetes, to name a few.
Holly's already noticed a difference, and she's looking forward to seeing what else she can accomplish.
I'm very excited about this program and everything that's coming along with it.
In Golden Valley, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
And Natalie says many insurance plans will cover the Great Slim Down program, and if you're interested in making an appointment, we have some information on our website at 12.tv. Coming up, community building that's as easy as pie.
But first, the Champlin Park baseball team is playing well as we head down the stretch of the regular season. John Jacobson has more on the Rebels up next in sports.
So when you're playing well, you definitely want to get the game in. And bad weather's your enemy, right?
Right, and then Champlin Park is playing very well right now, and they would like to get as many games in as possible. Champlin Park's scheduled baseball game against Wayzata was postponed by rain on Monday, but as Jay Wilcox reports, the Rebels are on a good roll, and they hope to carry it through the rest of the season.
Solid and great records.
Champlin Park's gaining momentum. The Rebels have won 5 straight games and 8 of their last 9 heading into Tuesday.
I think hitting, we've definitely been playing offense really well. We've been hitting really well. I think our defense, our pitching has shut the other teams down.
Every game's important, but the Rebels' win over league leader Totino Grace last Thursday really tightened up the Northwest Suburban race.
It was a really big win. Totino's a really good team, and it's in conference, so it was really great to pull one off against them.
Not even so much for standings, just as a team to keep building. That was probably the biggest thing, just to prove to each other that we were able to do it.
And while it's not their main goal, winning a conference title in a league as deep as the Northwest Suburban is something to shoot for.
We place a pretty high importance on it. I mean, it's something that the boys sat down at the beginning of the season. That was one of their goals, is they wanted to win a conference championship. It's been a while since we won a conference championship, and I think a couple things come into play. Our conference is so good that that's some pretty good momentum going into the section playoffs, knowing that you got that.
It'd be huge to win it. It's one of our goals as a team because we know that a bunch of the teams in our conference are really good, and it'd really be important to be at the top of all those teams.
The Rebels were expecting to get tested against Wayzata in a top 10 matchup Monday. It's looking questionable if the teams will be able to reschedule.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing that we weren't able to play them. They're a really good team, would have been a great test.
We've played them the last couple of years, and they're a very good baseball program, and we'd like to think that we're doing a decent job around here. Our boys are doing a heck of a job this season, so it would have been fun to get that matchup.
Anything can happen down the stretch, but don't be surprised if Champlin Park is a strong contender for a section title. Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
The Rebels are scheduled to play at Blaine Tuesday and then take on Park Center Thursday in a night game at Noble Sports Park. As you saw, Wayzata is having a strong baseball season as well. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, we meet Trojans pitching standout Tom Skoro. Here's Jay again with a bit of that story.
6'3", 205-pound Wayzata senior lefty Tom Skoro is a complete pitcher.
Biggest strength is probably locating my pitches, keeping them low. Something I should work on is probably speeding or picking up my velocity if I can a little more, and then just making sure my mechanics are good.
The biggest thing is probably that he's so good with swing and misses, he's got 3 pitches that are really hard to hit for everyone, and he does a really good job locating them, switching it up, and so it's always a pleasure to catch him.
Well, he's a power pitcher. You know, he throws hard. He's got a heavy ball. He can throw multiple pitches for strikes. His greatest strength, though, is just he's so calm. You really can't tell if he's up 10 or down 10. His demeanor is really neutral. You know, I would liken him to a Tom Glavine.
You can see the rest of the Tom Skoro story and more on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and our website at 12.tv. Section playoffs in high school lacrosse are now just 3 weeks away, and we have a big week of games here on 12 Sports. All the games will be live on the web via our live stream link at 12.tv and through our mobile app. Tonight, Tuesday, Wayzata's girls play at Breck. The Mustangs girls have been a top 10 team this year, and you can see that one on Channel 12 and our HD channel, 799 Wednesday night at 10. Maple Grove hosts Osseo Park Center in girls lacrosse Wednesday evening at 6:30. You can watch that one on TV both at 7 and 10 p.m. on Thursday. And on Thursday night, Wayzata's boys will travel to Minneapolis for a 5:30 game. Tune in for that one here on Channel 12 at 7 and 10 p.m. Friday night. So a busy week ahead in high school sports.
Okay, thanks a lot, John. Still ahead, a Golden Valley woman with the magic touch of bringing people together.
Rose McGee says the key is to start with their stomach. Her story when we come back. And finally, what does sweet potato pie have to do with community building and caring for one another?
If you ask Rose McGee of Golden Valley, it's the starting point for community engagement.
Our idea is to figure out how to bring people together around tough issues, not to go in and tell somebody what to do, but just to bring people together around these issues. And as Minnesota Humanities says, solutions reside in the community.
Around 24 people from Minnesota and the Dakotas bake sweet potato pies together at Calvary Lutheran Church in Golden Valley. They are taking part in this event through the Bush Foundation. Participating in Rose McGee's Sweet Potato Comfort Pie Project is a way to connect and share stories with one another. All participants decided where to deliver their own pie. Rachel Headley of South Dakota is interested in social justice and the local food movement across all economic spectrums.
I would love to give it to a family in my community that doesn't normally get home-cooked food, but because we are flying, we'll probably share it with the fellow attendees at the conference tonight.
The Sweet Potato Pie Project has become an annual effort on MLK Day of Service in Golden Valley. And that's all the news for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again Wednesday starting at 4.